The day humanity laughed, while aliens didn't understand. The next morning, Lisa woke to find a message waiting for her. The Galactic Council had assigned a cultural liaison to study human communication. A Veldarian named Zixtar would arrive on the horizon within the hour, along with 3 junior researchers. This could be good news, Frank said as they prepared to welcome their visitors. At least they want to understand us better. When the airlock opened, Zixtar stepped onto the ship. He was taller than most humans, with gray skin that seemed to shimmer slightly under the lights. His large purple eyes blinked slowly as he looked around. "Captain Morgan, I am Zixtar, Cultural Research Division. These are my assistants," he said, gesturing to 3 smaller Veldarians behind him. "We are here to document and analyze human communication patterns." Lisa smiled warmly. "Welcome aboard the Horizon. We're happy to help you understand us better." Zixtar did not smile back. "We will require access to observe your crew during normal activities. Our goal is to understand this humor concept that caused confusion yesterday." "Of course," Lisa agreed. "In fact, tonight is movie night in the recreation room. That would be perfect for you to see how humans enjoy entertainment together." Later that evening, the crew gathered to watch old comedy shows from Earth. The alien sat stiffly in the back row, recording devices in hand. On screen, a classic slapstick routine played out, with a man slipping on a banana peel. The humans burst into laughter. Zixtar leaned toward his assistant. "Note how they find enjoyment in witnessing potential injury to another human. This may indicate hidden aggressive tendencies." Olivia Martinez, the ship's science officer, overheard this comment and moved to sit near the aliens. "It's not about enjoying someone getting hurt," she explained. "We laugh because it's unexpected and exaggerated. No one is actually injured in these shows." The Veldarians looked at her blankly, then made more notes. When the show featured a scene with clever wordplay, Daniel Patel tried explaining puns to the confused aliens. "So the humor derives from this word having 2 meanings?" asked a junior Veldarian. "Exactly," Daniel said excitedly. "And this deliberate confusion of meaning serves what function?" the alien pressed. Daniel's smile faded. "Well, it's just fun. It makes us happy." The alien made another note. "Humans experience positive emotions from communication breakdowns." Interesting. As the evening continued, Joe Carter, the chief engineer, grew frustrated with the aliens' constant analysis. When Zixtar asked about human entertainment preferences, Joe answered sarcastically, "Oh, we mostly watch documentaries about how humans conquered half the galaxy last Tuesday. Very educational." The room fell silent. The Veldarians looked at each other with what could only be described as alarm. "Your species has conquered territories within this galaxy?" Zixtar asked, his voice now lower and more serious. "Our records show humans have only recently achieved interstellar travel." Lisa jumped in quickly. No. Joe was using sarcasm. That's another form of humor where we say the opposite of what's true." "You intentionally speak falsehoods?" a junior Veldarian asked, sounding troubled. "Not falsehoods exactly," Frank tried explaining. "More like obvious exaggerations that no one would believe. Yet you expected us to recognize this as obvious," Zixtar said. "Despite knowing we are unfamiliar with your communication methods." The situation grew increasingly tense. The aliens excused themselves early, returning to their quarters to review their findings. Later that night, Daniel made a startling discovery while reviewing Veldarian cultural files. He rushed to the captain's quarters. "Captain, I think I know why they're so confused by our humor," he said breathlessly. "The Veldarians have no concept of fiction. They believe all our entertainment shows actual events." Lisa's eyes widened. "So when we laughed at that comedy show, they thought we were watching real people getting hurt and finding it funny," Daniel finished. Lisa sank into her chair. "No wonder they're concerned about us. Tomorrow we need to explain the concept of fiction before we do anything else." But it was already too late. On the Veldarian ship, Zixtar was sending an urgent message to the Galactic Council about the potentially dangerous humans who spoke in codes found pain amusing, and claimed to have conquered galaxies. The day humanity laughed, while aliens didn't understand. The next morning, Lisa woke to find a message waiting for her. The Galactic Council had assigned a cultural liaison to study human communication. A Veldarian named Zixtar would arrive on the horizon within the hour, along with 3 junior researchers. This could be good news, Frank said as they prepared to welcome their visitors. At least they want to understand us better. When the airlock opened, Zixtar stepped onto the ship. He was taller than most humans, with gray skin that seemed to shimmer slightly under the lights. His large purple eyes blinked slowly as he looked around. "Captain Morgan, I am Zixtar, Cultural Research Division. These are my assistants," he said, gesturing to 3 smaller Veldarians behind him. "We are here to document and analyze human communication patterns." Lisa smiled warmly. "Welcome aboard the Horizon. We're happy to help you understand us better." Zixtar did not smile back. "We will require access to observe your crew during normal activities. Our goal is to understand this humor concept that caused confusion yesterday." "Of course," Lisa agreed. "In fact, tonight is movie night in the recreation room. That would be perfect for you to see how humans enjoy entertainment together." Later that evening, the crew gathered to watch old comedy shows from Earth. The aliens sat stiffly in the back row, recording devices in hand. On screen, a classic slapstick routine played out, with a man slipping on a banana peel. The humans burst into laughter. Zixtar leaned toward his assistant. "Note how they find enjoyment in witnessing potential injury to another human. This may indicate hidden aggressive tendencies." Olivia Martinez, the ship's science officer, overheard this comment and moved to sit near the aliens. "It's not about enjoying someone getting hurt," she explained. "We laugh because it's unexpected and exaggerated. No one is actually injured in these shows." The Veldarians looked at her blankly, then made more notes. When the show featured a scene with clever wordplay, Daniel Patel tried explaining puns to the confused aliens. "So the humor derives from this word having 2 meanings?" asked a junior Veldarian. "Exactly," Daniel said excitedly. "And this deliberate confusion of meaning serves what function?" the alien pressed. Daniel's smile faded. "Well, it's just fun. It makes us happy." The alien made another note. "Humans experience positive emotions from communication breakdowns." Interesting. As the evening continued, Joe Carter, the chief engineer, grew frustrated with the aliens' constant analysis. When Zixtar asked about human entertainment preferences, Joe answered sarcastically, "Oh, we mostly watch documentaries about how humans conquered half the galaxy last Tuesday. Very educational." The room fell silent. The Veldarians looked at each other with what could only be described as alarm. "Your species has conquered territories within this galaxy?" Zixtar asked, his voice now lower and more serious. "Our records show humans have only recently achieved interstellar travel." Lisa jumped in quickly. No. Joe was using sarcasm. That's another form of humor where we say the opposite of what's true." "You intentionally speak falsehoods?" a junior Veldarian asked, sounding troubled. "Not falsehoods exactly," Frank tried explaining. "More like obvious exaggerations that no one would believe. Yet you expected us to recognize this as obvious," Zixtar said. "Despite knowing we are unfamiliar with your communication methods." The situation grew increasingly tense. The aliens excused themselves early, returning to their quarters to review their findings. Later that night, Daniel made a startling discovery while reviewing Veldarian cultural files. He rushed to the captain's quarters. "Captain, I think I know why they're so confused by our humor," he said breathlessly. "The Veldarians have no concept of fiction. They believe all our entertainment shows actual events." Lisa's eyes widened. "So when we laughed at that comedy show, they thought we were watching real people getting hurt and finding it funny," Daniel finished. Lisa sank into her chair. "No wonder they're concerned about us. Tomorrow we need to explain the concept of fiction before we do anything else." But it was already too late. On the Veldarian ship, Zixtar was sending an urgent message to the Galactic Council about the potentially dangerous humans who spoke in codes, found pain amusing, and claimed to have conquered galaxies. The day humanity laughed. While aliens didn't understand, Lisa woke early the next morning to flashing red alerts. Frank burst into her quarters without knocking. "Captain, 3 Veldarian warships just entered our solar system," he said, his face pale. "The Galactic Council has called an emergency meeting." Lisa rushed to the bridge. On the main screen, she could see the massive alien ships moving toward Earth. "Get me Council Speaker Kelvac now," she ordered. When Kelvac's face appeared, on the screen his expression was colder than before. "Captain Morgan, your presence is required at the Council chamber immediately. The safety of all galactic species may be at risk." 2 hours later, Lisa stood in the center of the Council chamber. Representatives from all 27 alien species looked down at her with expressions ranging from fear to curiosity. "The Council has received disturbing reports," Kelvac announced. "Your engineer claimed humans have conquered half the galaxy. Your crew showed enjoyment watching fellow humans suffer injuries. And you deliberately speak untruths as part of normal communication." Lisa took a deep breath. There has been a serious misunderstanding. Engineer Carter's statement about conquering the galaxy was sarcasm. "Yes, this sarcasm you mentioned," interrupted a small green alien with 4 eyes. "Where you say the opposite of truth, expecting others to know it is false. This seems designed to create confusion." "No," Lisa insisted. "It's a form of humor that relies on the obvious nature of the untruth." "Yet it was not obvious to us," Kelvac pointed out. "And what of your entertainment showing humans being harmed?" Lisa finally understood the depth of the problem. "Those are fictional situations, made-up stories with actors pretending. No one actually gets hurt." The council members looked at each other in confusion. A tall, thin alien with blue skin spoke next. "You create false records of events that never occurred. For what purpose?" "For entertainment. For teaching lessons through stories, for exploring ideas," Lisa explained. "Don't your people have fiction? Stories that aren't real?" "All our records document actual events," Kelvac said, firmly. "Creating false accounts would serve no purpose and would be considered deeply dishonest." For the next 2 hours, Lisa tried to explain human stories, jokes, and entertainment. With each explanation, the council seemed more confused. When she tried showing examples of comedy from human history, some council members appeared disturbed. "So, this human pretends to slip on a yellow fruit covering even though no fruit is present?" one alien asked. "And others laugh because they know he is lying about falling?" Lisa rubbed her forehead. "No, he's an actor performing a scene. Everyone knows it's not real. That's part of why it's funny." William Grant, the ship's military advisor, whispered to Lisa, "They're not getting it. I think we need a different approach." Lisa nodded and addressed the council again. "Honored members, I propose a formal presentation about human humor. We need to show you the context and purpose of our communication styles." Kelvac conferred with other council members before responding. "Very well. The council will permit this presentation. However, the warships will remain near Earth as a precaution." As Lisa and her team returned to the horizon to prepare, William spoke gravely. "Captain, they think we're dangerous because they don't understand us. If we can't explain humor in terms they comprehend, Earth could be isolated from galactic society, or worse," Olivia added. "The problem is deeper than we thought. It's not just that they don't get jokes. They have no concept of saying anything that isn't literally true." Lisa looked around at her worried crew. "Then we need to find a way to bridge this gap. Our mission has changed. We're no longer just diplomats. Now we need to become teachers, explaining one of the most basic human traits to beings who have never experienced it." Back in the council chamber, the aliens continued their debate about the strange humans who laughed at things that weren't real and said things they didn't mean. The day humanity laughed. While aliens didn't understand. The next day, the Horizon crew gathered in the meeting room to prepare their presentation for the Galactic Council. William had brought together video, Clips, joke examples, and scientific research about humor. We need to make them understand that humor isn't threatening, Lisa said, looking at the worried faces around her. It's part of what makes us human. Sophia Kennedy, the ship's medical officer, raised her hand. Maybe we should focus on the science first. I can explain how laughter releases tension and helps humans cope with stress. Good idea. Lisa nodded. And Daniel, you can explain wordplay and puns from a language perspective. For hours they worked on their presentation. When they finally returned to the council chamber, all 27 alien species waited silently. William went first, showing simple comedy clips with careful explanations after each one. The aliens watched without any visible reaction. Next, Daniel explained puns and wordplay, breaking down each joke step by step. So you see, Daniel said, when I say time flies like an arrow but fruit flies like a banana, the humor comes from the two different meanings of flies and the two different structures of the sentences. The four-armed blue alien raised a flip. But this deliberately creates confusion in communication. How is this beneficial? Daniel struggled to answer. It exercises our minds, makes us think in different ways. Sophia took over next, explaining the health benefits of laughter. When humans laugh, our bodies release chemicals that reduce stress and pain. It's actually good for our health. A thin alien with antennae leaned forward. You have evolved a biological response that neutralizes stress? This suggests your species faces constant threats and needed to develop special defenses. No, that's not what I meant, Sophia said quickly. Laughter is social. It brings people together. The aliens discussed among themselves in low voices. Lisa sensed they were still missing the point entirely. Joe Carter decided to try a different approach. He stepped forward and told a self-deprecating joke. I'm so bad at math that I thought a quarterback was a refund. There was complete silence in the chamber. Kelvak spoke slowly. You claim incompetence at basic calculations, yet you have achieved space travel. This seems deceptive. No, Joe sighed. I'm actually good at math. The joke is that I'm making fun of myself. It's not meant to be taken literally. You deliberately claim false deficiencies, another alien asked. Is this to make others underestimate humans? The situation was getting worse. Every explanation seemed to make the aliens more suspicious. Lisa noticed a small group of council members whispering urgently to each other. Finally, a round orange alien with 6 eyes stood up. I am Council Elder Plex of the Quantari. I have analyzed your examples mathematically. What you call humor appears to be a form of information sharing that deliberately breaks expected patterns. That's actually not far off, William said with hope in his voice. However, Plex continued, pattern-breaking communication serves no clear purpose except to confuse listeners. This raises security concerns. Lisa stepped forward. Please understand, humor builds trust between humans. When we can laugh together, we form connections. Kelvak raised a hand for silence. The council has deliberated. We have reached a decision. The chamber grew quiet. Even the human crew held their breath. Humanity presents a unique challenge to galactic harmony, Kelvak announced. Your communication methods could lead to serious misunderstandings with potentially dangerous consequences. Lisa's heart sank. Therefore, Kelvak continued, we issue this challenge. If humans can demonstrate the value of this humor in a way our species can understand, you will be granted full council membership. If not, Earth will be placed under observation as a potentially disruptive influence. As they left the chamber, Frank whispered to Lisa, how do we make beings without humor understand jokes? Alan Rodriguez, the security chief who had remained quiet during the presentation, suddenly spoke up. Maybe we're going about this all wrong. Instead of explaining humor, we need to let them experience it themselves. Lisa looked at him with interest. What do you have in mind? We invite them to Earth, Alan said simply. Let them see humor in its natural environment, not in this formal setting. For the first time that day, Lisa smiled. That might just work. Let's propose it to the council tomorrow. The day humanity laughed. While aliens didn't understand, the next morning Lisa and her team returned to the council chamber. This time, they had a new plan. Alan stood beside Lisa as she addressed the council. Honored members of the Galactic Council, Lisa began, we propose a different approach. Instead of trying to explain humor with words, we invite you to visit Earth. See for yourselves how humor works in human society. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Many council members looked uncertain. Some appeared worried. This is an unusual request, Kelvak said. What would such a visit achieve? Understanding, Lisa replied simply. You've seen our attempts to explain humor fail. Perhaps experiencing it firsthand will help you understand what we cannot properly explain. The council members spoke among themselves in their own languages. Some seemed strongly opposed to the idea. Others appeared curious. A tall, bird-like alien with bright red feathers stood up. I am Representative Krull of the Meridians. My species specializes in cultural studies. I support this proposal. Direct observation is more valuable than explanation. Kelvak nodded slowly. Are there others who would join such a delegation? To Lisa's surprise, representatives from 11 other species raised their hands or tentacles. Even one Veldarian, a younger member named Loxvir, indicated interest. Very well, Kelvak announced. A delegation of 12 species will visit Earth under careful observation. The Veldarian warships will remain in orbit as a precaution. As the council session ended, the humans gathered to discuss their plan. This is our chance, Lisa said. We need to show them the best of human humor and community. William looked worried. What if they still don't understand? What if they see something they misinterpret as threatening? Then we deal with that when it happens, Lisa said firmly. Right now, this is our best option. For the next 3 days, the crew planned the Earth visit carefully. They selected locations, events, and people that might help the aliens understand humor in different settings. On the morning of the visit, a small fleet of shuttles carried the alien delegation down to Earth. They landed in New York City, where Mayor Grace Howard welcomed them officially. On behalf of the people of Earth, welcome to our world, the mayor said with a warm smile. We are honored by your visit and hope you enjoy your time here. The aliens looked around with obvious curiosity. The tall buildings, the crowds of people, the noise and energy of the city, everything was new to them. Their first stop was Central Park, where everyday people were enjoying a sunny day. Children played, couples walked hand in hand, and street performers entertained small crowds. Notice how humans interact casually, Daniel explained to the group. Much of our communication includes humor and laughter. The aliens watched as a juggler performed for a group of children. When he pretended to drop a ball but caught it at the last moment, the children laughed with delight. The Meridian representative's feathers changed color slightly, shifting from red to a light purple. You notice something? Lisa asked him. The small humans showed a distinct emotional response to the false error, Krull observed. But I do not understand why the apparent failure of a task would cause positive reactions. It's the surprise, Olivia explained. The children expected one thing, got another, and the relief plus surprise triggers laughter. Zixtar made notes on a small device. So humor requires expectations that are then broken in a non-threatening way? Lisa smiled. That's part of it, yes. You're starting to understand. Later that day, they attended a comedy club where a local comedian named Natalie Brooks performed. Most of the aliens sat stiffly through the show, showing no reaction. But Lisa noticed the Meridian's feathers shifting colors several times during clever jokes. After the performance, the blue four-armed alien approached Lisa. The female human told many untrue stories about her family, yet humans laughed. Why find pleasure in these falsehoods? Lisa realized they still had a long way to go. The stories aren't meant to deceive. They're exaggerations of real experiences that we all share. The laughter comes from recognizing those common experiences. As the first day ended, the aliens returned to their quarters to discuss what they had seen. Lisa wondered if any progress had been made. They're watching and learning, Frank said. That's all we can ask for now. Tomorrow we show them something different, Lisa decided. Let's take them to a baseball game. The day humanity laughed. While aliens didn't understand, the next day dawned bright and clear. Perfect weather for a baseball game. Lisa and her team led the alien delegation to Yankee Stadium, where thousands of fans were gathering for the big game. Baseball is an important cultural activity for humans, Lisa explained as they found their seats. It's a game, but it's also a social event where people connect with each other. The aliens looked around at the cheering crowds with expressions ranging from curiosity to confusion. The stadium was filled with noise, color, and energy. People ate hot dogs, drank soda, and wore team hats and shirts. Why do humans wear matching clothing items? Asked a small green alien with 4 eyes. To show support for their team, Frank explained. It creates a sense of belonging and shared experience. The game began, and the human crew tried to explain the rules. Most of the aliens seemed to grasp the basic concept, though they found many aspects puzzling. So the goal is to hit the small ball with the wooden stick? Zixtar asked. Yes, and then run around those bases before the other team can tag you with the ball, Daniel said. An unusual test of physical abilities, the Veldarian noted. In the 4th inning, something unexpected happened. A batter hit a high pop fly. The outfielder positioned himself perfectly under it, raised his glove confidently, and then the ball bounced off his glove and hit him on the head before falling to the ground. The crowd erupted in laughter. Why do they laugh? Loxavir asked, quickly. The player failed. Is failure amusing to humans? It's not about enjoying his failure, Lisa explained. It's about the unexpected moment. He was so confident, and then something surprising happened. The laughter is a release of tension. The Meridian representative, Kral, whose feathers had shifted to a light blue color, spoke up. I felt something when the unexpected event occurred. A strange sensation. Lisa looked at him with interest. That might be your species' equivalent of humor, the recognition of a pattern followed by an unexpected break in that pattern. Fascinating, Kral said. We call this feeling krith zal in our language. It is usually experienced during educational moments when one understanding is replaced by another. For the first time, Lisa felt a real connection forming. That's very similar to how humor works for us. After the baseball game, the delegation visited a shopping mall. The variety of stores, products, and people fascinated the aliens. In the food court, they observed humans of all ages eating, talking, and laughing together. Humans use this laughter in almost all social situations, Zixtar noted. Yes, Sophia confirmed. Laughter helps us bond with each other. It builds trust and friendships. As they watched, a small child dropped his ice cream cone on the floor. Instead of crying, his father made a silly face and the child began to laugh. Soon both father and child were laughing as they cleaned up the mess and got a new ice cream cone. The child experienced a negative event, yet responded with this laughter sound, said the 4-armed blue alien. Why? The father helped change how the child saw the situation, Olivia explained. By using humor, he showed the child that small problems aren't worth being upset about. The aliens watched more closely now, paying attention to how humans used humor in everyday situations. Friends greeting each other with jokes, a clerk making a customer smile, teenagers laughing together over shared messages on their phones. There appears to be more purpose to this behavior than we initially understood, Zixtar admitted. As the day ended, Lisa felt encouraged. The aliens were beginning to see humor not just as strange communication, but as a social tool that brought humans together. That evening, as the delegation prepared to return to their quarters, Kral approached Lisa again. Captain Morgan, I have a request. Tomorrow I would like to observe human younglings. Children, I believe you call them. They seem to display this humor behavior most naturally. Lisa smiled. That's an excellent idea. I know just the place to take you. She didn't know it yet, but this suggestion would lead to the breakthrough they needed. The day humanity laughed. While aliens didn't understand, the next morning, Lisa took the alien delegation to Happy Hearts Elementary School. Principal Betty Wilson had arranged for them to observe a birthday party in the first-grade classroom. 6-year-old Emma Lawson was celebrating her birthday with cupcakes and games. Children often express humor in its purest form, Lisa explained as they entered the colorful classroom. They haven't learned to hide their reactions or overthink things. The children stared at the aliens with wide eyes. Some looked nervous, but most seemed excited. Emma, a small girl with curly brown hair and bright eyes, walked right up to the aliens. "Are you really from outer space?" she asked, looking directly at Loxvier, the young Veldarian. Loxvier blinked his large purple eyes. "Yes, I come from the planet Veld, approximately 47 light-years from your Earth." Emma giggled. "You talk funny. Want a cupcake?" Before the adult aliens could react to this apparent rudeness, Loxvier accepted the cupcake. "Thank you. What is the purpose of this small food item?" "It's yummy, and it's my birthday. I'm 6 now," Emma said proudly. Soon the children were showing the aliens how to play simple games. They taught them Duck, Duck, Goose and Simon Says. The aliens tried to follow the rules, creating a strange sight as the tall, dignified Veldarians and other species attempted to play children's games. When one of the Quantari aliens stood frozen in confusion during Simon Says, the children burst into laughter. To everyone's surprise, the alien didn't seem offended. The younglings find joy in my incorrect understanding of the game rules, the Quantari observed. "They're not making fun of you," the teacher, Mrs. Gray, explained. "They're laughing because the situation is funny. They'd laugh the same way if one of their friends made the same mistake." During snack time, Emma sat next to Loxvier, who was still trying to figure out how to eat his cupcake. "Why do your eyes blink sideways?" Emma asked. "My inner eyelids move horizontally to protect my vision," Loxvier explained seriously. Emma crossed her eyes and made a silly face. "Can you do this?" Loxvier tried to copy her expression, making his face look very strange. Emma laughed loudly. "Now you try to make me laugh," Emma said. Loxvier looked confused. "How would I accomplish this? Tell me a joke." "Like this. Why did the chicken cross the road?" "I do not know." "Why?" "To get to the other side." Emma dissolved into giggles. Loxvier looked puzzled. "This is humorous because the chicken's purpose was obvious." "It's funny because you think I'm going to say something else," Emma explained. "Now you try." For a moment, the young Veldarian seemed at a loss. Then he said, "Why did the Veldarian cross the galaxy?" Emma shrugged. "I don't know. Why?" "To study strange new life forms that find obvious statements amusing." Emma stared at him for a moment, then burst out laughing. "That's funny." And then something amazing happened. Loxvier made a strange, chirping sound. His shoulders shook slightly. The other aliens turned to stare at him in shock. "He's laughing," Daniel whispered to Lisa. "The Veldarian is actually laughing." Zixtar rushed over, scanning Loxvier with a small device. "This is unprecedented. Veldarians do not produce this response." "Young ones do," said Mrs. Gray, who had been watching. "Children everywhere laugh naturally before they're taught not to." This simple observation hit the alien delegation like a thunderbolt. Zixtar quickly conferred with the other aliens, speaking in rapid, clicking sounds. "Captain Morgan," he said finally, "we must discuss something important. Our records show that Veldarian children occasionally display behaviors similar to your laughter, but our educational system removes this response as inefficient and unnecessary." "You teach your children not to laugh?" Sophia asked, shocked. "We teach focus and clarity," Zixtar corrected. "But perhaps we have eliminated something valuable." Lisa looked at Emma and Loxvier, now playing and laughing together. Humor isn't just silly or confusing. It's a natural part of how intelligent beings connect with each other. For the first time since they met, Zixtar's expression softened. We may have much to learn from humans after all. The day humanity laughed, while aliens didn't understand. 3 days later, the Galactic Council reconvened. The chamber was packed with representatives from all 27 species. The mood was different now, less tense, more curious. Lisa and her crew stood in the center of the chamber. The alien delegation that had visited Earth stood nearby, with Zixtar at their head. "We have reviewed the findings from the Earth observation mission," Kelvak announced. "Cultural liaison Zixtar will present the report." Zixtar stepped forward. "Our initial assessment of human humor was incorrect. We viewed it as confusing, potentially deceptive communication. We now understand. It serves important social and cognitive functions." Murmurs spread through the chamber as Zixtar continued. "Human humor helps them process unexpected events, reduce social tension, form group bonds, and teach complex concepts. It is not a threat, but a sophisticated social tool." The blue four-armed alien added, "Their use of fiction, stories they know are not true, exercises their minds. It helps them prepare for various situations they might face in reality." "Most importantly," said Kral, the Meridian whose feathers now glowed a warm orange, "we discovered something unexpected. Many of our own species have similar capabilities that have been suppressed or forgotten." Zixtar nodded. "Young Veldarians display humor responses naturally. Our educational practices eliminated these behaviors, considering them inefficient. This may have been a significant mistake." A hushed silence fell over the chamber. For a species as proud as the Veldarians, to admit a mistake was unprecedented. Kelvak spoke slowly. "You suggest that humor is not uniquely human but a potential universal trait?" "Evidence suggests this possibility," Zixtar replied. "The remarkable moment when Loxavir laughed indicates that humor may be an evolved trait that serves important purposes." Lisa stepped forward. "Honored council members, humor helps humans cope with life's challenges. It brings us together and helps us see problems in new ways. It makes us stronger, not weaker." The council deliberated for over an hour. Finally, Kelvak rose to announce their decision. "The council recognizes that human humor is not a threat to galactic peace. We formally welcome Earth as a full member world of the Galactic Council." Cheers erupted from the human crew. Kelvak raised a hand for silence. "Furthermore, we recognize that humanity has given the galaxy a valuable gift, reminding us of aspects of ourselves some species have forgotten. The Council will establish a cultural exchange program, with humans helping other species rediscover these lost traits." That evening, a formal ceremony celebrated Earth's admission to the Galactic Council. Representatives from all species gathered in the Grand Hall. Even the Veldarians seemed more relaxed than before. As Lisa chatted with Kral and other alien representatives, she noticed Kelvak approaching her. The Veldarian first speaker looked unusually nervous. "Captain Morgan, I wish to attempt something," he said. "I have been practicing a human joke." Lisa smiled encouragingly. "I'd be honored to hear it." Kelvak cleared his throat. "Why does the Earth human look at food twice?" "I don't know," Lisa responded. "Why?" "Because humans invented the refrigerator." The joke was terrible. The pronunciation awkward, the wordplay strained. But Lisa laughed anyway. Not just to be polite, but because there was something genuinely funny about a dignified Veldarian elder attempting human humor. Kelvak observed her reaction carefully. "The joke was not successful, yet you laughed. Why?" Lisa thought for a moment. "Sometimes we laugh not because the joke is good, but because we appreciate the effort someone makes to connect with us." Kelvak's eyes widened slightly. "Then the social bonding function is more important than the technical success of the humor." "Exactly," Lisa nodded. For the first time, Kelvak's face formed what might have been a small smile. "Perhaps there is hope for us old Veldarians yet." As the celebration continued around them, humans and aliens found new ways to connect. Some shared jokes, others told stories, and a few even attempted dancing. The day humanity laughed had become the day the galaxy began to understand. Far away on the horizon, Daniel recorded in the ship's log, "First contact mission successful. Turns out that laughter truly is a universal language. Some species just needed a reminder of how to speak it."